It was a Thursday night when I first saw you. Those green eyes caught me. Yeah, it was crazy. It was a Friday night when I first kissed you. You struck me like lightning. You broke my chains and released.
Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Also, welcome if you are new. So today's video is going to be super motivating. I have a ton of cleaning to do as well as some decluttering. But I decided today would be the perfect day to share with you guys some decluttering hacks. I'm always getting questions about cleaning products, routines, and the big one, decluttering and trying to stay more minimal, especially in today's day and age where shopping is like a big influence thing. Like you're always seeing these products pop up on your Instagram, your TikTok, your Facebook, absolutely everywhere. And you always have this influence to buy things. I fall into that. I'm sure you guys fall into it. So we are going to go over a bunch of tips to hopefully get you guys motivated and give you that like drive to declutter a space in your home.
Since I let you in under my skin, I'm more free than I have ever been. You broke my chains and released me. And days turned into nights on the couch in your apartment. No, I am not the same. Everything has changed. Every day, 24/7, you call my name, and I will come running.
Alright, so the first one goes to influenced mentality that's going around. It happens all the time. And I think fall this year was like a big thing for me. Like I have not even gone to the stores, and a big part of that is because the start of decluttering has to start at the source, and the source is bringing that clutter into your house. So being able to take control of your shopping habits and really buy things intentionally. That means I'm not going to buy something just because it's pretty, but if I'm going to buy something, it's because I know that place has a home in my house and where I am going to use it. And using that mindset when you're shopping is huge. Now, this can go for clothing, decor, cooking gadgets, anything. Like if I go to a store and I like a shirt just because it's cute, but I can't really envision wearing it, especially like on a daily basis, I'm probably just going to pass it up because it's so much better to have things you can go into your closet. Now, everyone's closet is going to be a little bit different. For me, I work from home. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I am usually in loungy clothes. Give me my t-shirts, my leggings, my comfy clothes, and that's what you're going to see me in. So 90% of my wardrobe is going to be that. I can go in, pick out anything, pull it out, and I am good to go, with a small percentage of other type of clothing. And when it comes to like fancy dresses, I don't keep any. I think I have one black dress as a just in case, but let's be realistic. If you guys have a special party to go to, a wedding, anything like that, 99% of the time we are not going to pick something out of our closet. 99% of the time we are going to go shopping for that special event. So there's no need to hold on to your senior prom dress or your sister's wedding from 15 years ago or your bridesmaid dresses for your best friend when you were 20 years old. Any of those things. If you're not going to wear it again, you have those pictures most likely, and you don't need the item taking up space.
You said that you needed me like a cargo, you will carry me. I just hope you know my depth, even though it makes no sense. Sometimes I'm broken, too much of emotion.
All right, so tip number 2, we are going to be talking about the mental state for decluttering, because that getting the motivation to declutter, I swear, can be one of the hardest parts. And here's the thing, clutter equals stress. Stress is going to end up giving you a mental roadblock, and those mental roadblocks completely destroy your motivation to keep going. So now this is going to be definitely for someone that is starting with more clutter, but break down your decluttering tasks, because that mental roadblock, that stress, that clutter, it is going to get overwhelming. It's going to be harder to get the motivation. So let's break it down. And I mean break it down, be specific. Don't say I'm going to declutter my bedroom today. Say I'm going to declutter my nightstand, or I'm going to declutter just my shoes. Like, give yourself a list and really, really break it down. One, it'll keep you focused, because it's real easy to go from one project and then you know when you're putting something away that, oh, I need to go to this. Stay focused on that one task. I promise you, if you do this, you will get the motivation, because you will see the progress. And to me, physically seeing progress, that is the biggest thing when it comes to motivation. I need to see something getting better, and then I will keep on going. That is something that you can take all over your house. If you are doing your bathroom, let's just declutter our makeup drawer. Let's just declutter our hair stuff. Let's declutter our towels. How many of you guys have a bunch of random towels in your house? Because I know I do, and you're going to see later on in this video me going around and decluttering some of these random towels. But break it down, one drawer at a time, whatever is manageable to you.
Too much of emotions. Sometimes I'm delighted. Don't wanna pick a fight with. Everything seems so good. I guess I can't help myself. Would you call me if I'm in the...
All right, another thing, going back to that, trying to stay motivated is, and this is more on when it comes to mindset, your house didn't get cluttered in one day. So it's not going to take just one day to declutter it. It takes time, and it's also not a one and done process, which is another reason why it's good to go small. If you can make decluttering just a part of your routine instead of this big, daunting, overwhelming project, it's going to be much easier. So if you are going and doing your closet and you feel like you didn't get enough done the first time, but you're over it, be over it and go back in a week, 2 weeks, and do it again. It's definitely going to be a process, and it's going to take more than one day to completely declutter everything. This is more like a lifestyle, so don't let it overwhelm you being like, oh, I have to get this all done at once. It didn't get that way all at once. And it's going to take maintenance over time. So just starting to get into the habit of doing things regularly will make it easier in the long run.
See me shaking, hear the sound of my heart breaking. Bless the soul that's aching, hoping I survive. The feeling lingers on every day of every month, wishing I just could forget about.
All right, so another question I get a ton is about paper clutter. How do I handle paper clutter? And I have to say, I used to be really bad at this. But once I got my paper clutter under control, I got to where I would declutter it the second it came in the house, and the clutter had a home. So in my laundry room, I have a organizer that hangs on the wall that I have set up for kids, like schoolwork stuff, bills, and then like miscellaneous. So whenever we get the mail, because that's where most of our paper clutter is going to come from, is your mail, I go through it right away. Same with my receipts. If I need to keep it, they go somewhere where they're supposed to be. They have a home. And if I don't need it, we shred it, we get rid of it immediately. It seems so much more daunting when you even let just a week of mail sit on the counter. And I get it. I don't like going through mail either, because let's be realistic, it's junk mail or bills. It's never anything fun. We're not getting fun letters and things like that in the mail. It's always work. So it can be a lot more overwhelming and stressful to go through your mail nowadays because we know it's going to be the water bill, this bill, that bill, medical bills, whatever is out there, and then junk mail. Sell your house, here's a coupon, here's this, here's that, buy a car. So it's never fun to go through. You're never getting anything exciting. So being able to go through it the second it hits your counter will make your life so much easier, and make sure you have a home for those things. Like I said, I have a nice little setup in our laundry room. It makes it super easy to go through, and everything has its home, and I know where to go. At the first of the month when I pay all my bills, I grab it out of there and I go through it. And then when the kids have like permission slips and things like that, I can put it in there and make sure it gets done and it's not forgotten or lost in the pile and piles of paper clutter that can really grow quickly.
But it's over now. Time keeps slipping with your skin next to mine, and your lips I can fight, but it's over now. You brought out the best in me.
All right, so this tip is going to really help some people, or it may not be your thing, but this helps so many different people, and it goes back to breaking things down. But make a list. When I am super, super overwhelmed, if I can check off a list, just seeing that like swipe of a check mark or that line going through it, like that is done, it is off my to-do list, is so motivating. So making a list and making sure it's not a broad list, but a very, very specific list. Let's say we're in our kitchen. So you have to organize your silverware drawer and your junk drawer and your pots and pans. Don't say organize drawers. Do the specific areas. Your cup cupboard, your pantry. Let's say we're going to organize our canned goods, and then we're going to organize our dry baked goods. Things like that. Make a list. Make it specific. Have fun with it. Use your fun old gel pens and stickers and all these things to just give you that like excitement to something that's not really exciting. Let's be real. Being able to check something off can be super encouraging when you're starting to feel overwhelmed. Now, there can be a lot of things keeping us from decluttering, and it's the guilt of decluttering. If it's your kid's first outfit, or the gift that great grandma gave you, or you got it for your wedding, or I just spent too much money on this. We have to let go of that guilt, because that is one thing. Let's be honest. When someone gives you the gift, they've already had their joy out of that gift, because their joy is giving it to you. I'm sure if they knew that item was now causing you stress, because clutter equals stress, which equals mental block, if they knew that, they wouldn't want you to keep it. If you went to them and were like, hey, would you mind if I got rid of this? Sure, they may say something, but what if you went to them and you're like, hey, or no, actually, no, don't think about you going to them. Think about someone coming to you and say, hey, I know you bought me this sweater. I'm just been so overwhelmed and anxious because I have so much clutter, but I feel guilty because you got me this. Getting rid of it, honestly, how would you feel? You'd be like, dude, get rid of it. It's no big deal. Throw it out. Like, donate it. Bye. You're good. So don't let the guilt of decluttering hold you back. And this, once again, can be something that takes a while to get over. So making it a habit and just keep going with it, it gets easier over time. I promise. It's kind of like working out. The more you do it, the easier it is. It's just getting into that rhythm. The other thing is money spent. How many of you guys, and I think the kitchen gadgets are usually the things that get me, is, oh, I bought this really cool toaster oven and it was $150, or I'm just throwing numbers out there. But then I feel guilty about getting rid of it, but I'm overwhelmed because I can't organize my kitchen in the way I want, even though I haven't used this thing in 5 years. It's not that big of a deal. And if you're really, really feeling struggle about getting rid of things, make a maybe bin. Maybe bins, there is nothing wrong with having a maybe bin. Put it in that maybe bin. 6 months, 12 months later, if you have not touched it in that bin, just take the bin to the Goodwill or whatever donation place it needs to go to and donate it. Get rid of it. I promise you, you will feel so much better. And yeah, let go of the guilt. The guilt can always get us. But I promise you, you don't need it. You don't need it. Oh, and going on with guilt, this is more sentimental though, is those baby toys that you feel guilty getting rid of because your kids may care, you are more attached than they are. I promise you that teddy bear, okay, there may be a teddy bear, but you know what I mean. Most of the toys, when we are like overwhelmed and like, what if they want to play with us, they're not even going to notice. Freya had this baby shark toy, and it was her favorite toy. It was a battery operated toy. The batteries had like done that leaky battery acid thing, and it was not working at all anymore. She was getting really sad that she couldn't turn it on. So I took it away. I did try to fix it first, but I took it away and I put it somewhere for a while to see if she would ask for it again. After a month, I got rid of it. It was broken. I couldn't fix it. I could have bought her a new one, but taking that time away, she didn't remember. She's on to her next toy, her next favorite thing. So remember, most of the time when it comes to your kids' stuff, you have more of an attachment over it than they do. And kids play so much better with less clutter. Their little brains work in magnificent ways, and when you give them the space to use their imagination and play, and they're not overwhelmed by being surrounded by things, you will love watching your children play in a clean space. So this might be the hardest tip for a lot of people to really take in, but this is huge. It has been proven that if you touch something, you have a harder time letting go of it. So ask for help. Even if it's just your mom, your sister, your best friend, your dad, your brother, someone coming over and holding the thing for you and you saying yes or no, it'll make a really, really big help, especially in the beginning phases of decluttering where you're still trying to make this a habit, make this a routine, and get comfortable with it. And I know for so many people, even myself, asking for help can be one of the hardest things to do. But I promise you, if you are just getting started, asking for help will be a huge success, and it will make it so much easier to just let go and move on from all your different things.
I know you wanna find another reason. I know you wanna lie, making me stay. But let's talk. Are you at the avenue? I don't need nobody else but me. It doesn't matter. don't need nobody.
All right, so if you've been with my channel before, you guys have heard of power hours or dirty 30s. That is where you set a timer for 30 minutes or an hour, and you just get done as much as you can. You turn off your phones, you turn off the TV, you turn on some really good motivating music, and you just go and do everything you can for either 30 minutes or an hour. Well, I want to incorporate that into your decluttering. Just set a timer. Do a 15 minutes timer. Pick a specific task, let's say your nightstand. Take 15 minutes and do it. If you do it that way, we all have 15 minutes in our day. 15 minutes before bed. Doing your silverware drawer while you're waiting for your water to boil on the sink. Like, that can be your timer. The water boiling is your timer. You are going to declutter whatever you can out of your silverware drawer, your junk drawer, whatever, until that water's boiling. But breaking it down into a much more manageable time frame is going to make things not feel so overwhelming, and you're going to be way more productive working it around your kids' naps. It can be really difficult when all the kids are grabbing at you wanting snacks, lunch, dinner, breakfast, play with me, draw with me, take me to the park. It can get really hard to get stuff done. But if you take that hour that they are napping, or let's not even take the hour nap. Let's take 30 minutes of the nap. That way you get 30 minutes to sit and relax and scroll TikTok or YouTube or whatever you want, and 30 minutes to tackle just one project. But set a timer, do that time, and go at it all the way. Don't slack, just go for it. It's only 30 minutes. Do as much as you can in those 30 minutes, and then be done. Let yourself be done. Don't say, oh, I couldn't do more. Just take a break. Even if it's only a 5-minute break and you're still motivated, then keep going. But doing these little resets can make life so much easier and more manageable. I know in this video you guys are seeing me get a bunch of decluttering done in 2 days, but this was not all done at once. This was done throughout the day, off and on, not in one fell swoop. It looks like that in a cleaning video, but it's not done that way. I have 3 kids, I have a husband, I have 2 dogs, I got birds, I've got my YouTube business to run. Like, I am always busy and running around and doing things. So taking it one little step at a time and setting those timers and then doing what needs to be done is going to make it a lot more motivating and a lot more easy to actually stick to it and make it into a routine.
Still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. Just thought I should let you know.
All right, now for the flat surface rule. I need you to focus on those flat surfaces. And what do I mean when I'm talking flat surfaces? Dining room table, your kitchen island, or counters in general. Clutter is going to attract clutter. So being able to declutter and minimize those flat surfaces, one, mentally will give you so much mental clarity, because when you're looking around and all you see is mess, it's really hard to be motivated to do absolutely anything. So focus on those flat surfaces throughout your house. You know what they are. You know where those drop zones are. Everyone has them. So being able to focus on those and minimize and declutter on a regular basis. This is going to be a daily basis for most of us, because even if you're really good at it, you may have a spouse that drops it, you may have kids. Also, don't take this on all by yourself. If you have a spouse that drops things, ask them nicely to put them away and let them know why. Explain it. Have a conversation. I feel like often that's the hardest thing, is people just say something without explaining and then it comes off naggy. So explain it. Explain it to your kids. Explain it to your spouse. Explain it to whoever is in there causing issues. But sit down, explain, and make them do it. You don't want to be the only one on this decluttering process, because then you're going to, one, probably get resentful, and two, get overwhelmed. So let's avoid the resentment to our kids and our husbands and anyone else, and let them in on our process, what we're trying to do, why we're trying to do it. Let them know the fact that you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious and less motivated to do anything because of all the things, and make it where everyone's involved and not just you.
That's when I love you the most. No, I forgot, I should let you know. No words no more. We don't know. No words no more. We don't know. No words no more. We don't know. No words no more. No. We don't know. No words no more. We don't know. No words no more. We don't know. No words no more. No. Yeah. Oh, would you call me?
Another thing to do is working with your space. I know we all have different size homes and different layouts. Like, you guys watching, you're from all over the world. I get comments from people from Brazil or Trinidad or wherever, Australia, all over the place. And we all have different homes, different sizes, different layouts. Here in the U.S., we have master closets, and I know you go overseas and they may have a armoire or those like furniture closet type things, and it's different for everyone. So being able to work with your space is so important. Don't work against it, work with it. That could be having a floating shelf in your laundry room with some nice bins on top so that you can store it. I know in this house I have probably the worst layout for a laundry room I have ever had in a house, and I'm needing to work with it and figure it out. I can't change my laundry room. I have a hot water heater in there. I have my furnace in there. Like, it is what it is, and that's how it's going to be. So being able to work with your space is so important. This is also another great time to like call in for backup, because it can also be not overwhelming, but like you become almost zombie-like to your space. So having a fresh pair of eyes come in and look at your space and give their idea of how they would organize it, they may see something that you don't see because you've just gone blind to your space. So this is another great area of decluttering, to bring in that backup, bring in someone fresh to look at your space and give you an idea of what they would do. And you may or may not use those ideas, but often I personally find that bringing someone in with a fresh eye and fresh look, they always see something I didn't, and I usually incorporate it.
I need some time. I see you going through some things, and I just wanna help. I don't know how to make it clearer, but they say I don't know where you come from. I don't, but you seem too nice to be alone. So lonely. I see you.
All right, now it's your turn. I want you guys to leave down below in the comments, because I know there's a bunch of people here trying to get motivated, trying to figure out ideas, and you may be sharing something with me that I haven't even thought of. So leave below your decluttering tips. What do you do to help stay more minimal in a society where maximizing is constantly thrown in your face? Minimizing seems to be a thing of the past. So what are some things that help you stay motivated to stay minimal or to declutter on a regular basis? I would love all the comments down below. I always enjoyed reading the comments, and watching the conversations unfold in the comments are always amazing. So it doesn't matter how small your tip is, how big your tip is, leave it down below, because I promise you may not think that it's a big deal, or you may think everyone knows about this tip. I used to think that all the time, especially with things of like cleaning. I used to think what I did was normal. Everyone did it. And I've learned that people learn even from something you may not think is a learning experience. So down below, leave a comment with your best tips and tricks for decluttering, motivation, anything that will help motivate someone else out here watching this video.
A little bit, but not that much. 'Cause if you want somebody else, who am I to judge? I've been thinking about you all the time, but that's alright. I'm starting to get used to it, think I'll survive. I met you in the summer, when you left it was cold. Said we loved one another, guess that we were wrong. I met you in the summer, our love was out of control.
Alright, so I think this will probably be my last and final tip for today's video, but I have to say it's probably the most important tip, is to work with your own brain. We were all created with very unique, magical, perfect brains. But with that, it means that they all work differently. So you may not find everything I said in this video to really relate to you. And if that's you, that's totally okay. Figuring out what decluttering method and organization method works best for you and working with that is probably the most important thing. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Clutter Bug. She is here on YouTube, but she also had a TLC show for a while, and she talked about different types of organizers and declutterers out there, and she's very accurate on all of that. We all work very, very differently, so figuring out what works best for you and sticking to that, that is the way to go in the end. But I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you're new here, I would love if you would subscribe. Leave me a comment if you guys want to see more videos like this where I'm giving tips, tricks, and hacks. But until next time, bye!